What am I doing now? I've kind of lost track of what I was doing. I saw Soshi posting things.
Savage Nymph 12 cheered X
Oh
10,000.
my fucking god.
Hey Mr. Streamer. Someone just asked me, why do you speedrun GTA SA, and when did you start? I couldn't answer. When and why did you started speedrunning SA?
Is that $100, Savage New York mile per hour 12? Jesus fucking Christ. Thank you. Hello. Why did I start speedrunning? Okay, so my origin story, it's a long one. Okay, how far back do you want? Should I go back all the way? What's the earliest I could reasonably start this from? So I got into watching StarCraft 2, right? Or StarCraft 1, or whatever it was at the time. StarCraft 2 was brand new, and I got super into it, and I loved watching all the esports. And I'm an early bird person. I wake up early and go to sleep early, right? So it meant that I can, I'm awake when no wait, that doesn't make any sense. I'm awake when Koreans, yeah, because it's like evening in Korea, right? I would always wake up early enough to watch the Korean broadcasts of StarCraft 2, which is like most popular or whatever. And yeah, I was watching StarCraft 2 content. I watched a video by Husky StarCraft, who's kind of an arsehole now, unfortunately, from my knowledge. I may be wrong, don't take that too personally if they ever hear this, but yeah, Husky StarCraft was made a music video about StarCraft 2 called Banelings. It was a parody of Justin Bieber. It was like Banelings, 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 alright, or something like that. I don't remember. It's not important. I was watching StarCraft 2 content, and I watched that music video, and all of Husky's music videos are all funny. And in it, there was a Lamborghini. They drove a Lamborghini in the music video. This is early internet, right? Like, Husky did not have money for a Lamborghini off of YouTube. That wasn't a thing. So, at the end of the music video, Husky says thanks to Justin.tv for getting us the Lamborghini. And I watched that, I listened to it, I was like, what the fuck is Justin.tv? Is it like some Justin Bieber fan site that have like lended a Lamborghini for this like parody of a Justin Bieber song? So I went to Justin.tv to see what the fuck it was. And it was a live streaming website, and this, we're talking like 2012, 2011. When did the Banelings song come out, guys? Oh right, it's been fucking deleted now by Husky, so we probably can't see it anymore. But when Banelings song would have been like 2011, 2012, right? Yeah, I found the website called Justin.tv, and at the same time, Total Biscuit was talking about streaming on there and stuff. Uploaded by Husky StarCraft on 2010. Yeah, okay. So 2010, I was watching Justin TV. I was watching. I would watch early morning Korean StarCraft 1/2. That's what I would watch on Justin TV. One day, I went on there and I saw. How to fucking. This is awkward because it's like there's so much drama and stuff associated with this. I saw someone famous from very old live stream speedrunning doing speedruns of Wind Waker. And I was just like, hey, I know this game. What the hell's a speedrun, right? Live streaming was like a new thing. There was like, if something big was happening on Justin TV, like everyone on the entire website was watching it. It was like way tighter knit community, right? That there were way less people. If there was like a big stream happening, everyone talked about it. Whereas now, if there's someone with like 10,000 viewers on Twitch or something happening, I've got no fucking idea. You know, maybe there's like a big esports thing happening that gets 100,000 viewers. You could still exist on Twitch without ever knowing that this was happening, right? So to splinter off from my story for a second, to explain the history of speedrunning. For the longest time, speedrunning was pretty much done on a website called Speed Demos Archive, which still exists. And that was primarily made as like a Quake speedrunning site. You would like you would share demo files from Quake, which is why it's called Speed Demos Archive. But it eventually splintered off into like doing different speedruns, but they were all like segmented speedruns. No one would do like full runs in one go. So people would like use their VCR, like with VHSs, like tapes. You couldn't do long RTAs because you'd run out of tape. So everyone would just do bits and pieces of the run, one after the other, until you had a perfect segmented run. So it was like I would do the first few missions of Los Santos, then save, and like I would do those missions over and over again until I got them perfect. Then I would save, then I would do the next few missions over and over and over again until I got them perfect, then save, and then I would edit that into one long video. That was like the perfect run or something. But when live streams started, speedrunning took a new form. Rather than watching a live stream of someone reset a segment over and over again, people started live streaming their entire, like a whole run, like real-time attack, it was called, run. So like this big paradigm shift in speedrunning happened where it went from just like people sitting alone for months just recording like segmented runs until they got a cool one, then uploading it to a website, writing a big documentary, doing a video commentary over it, and having it be like a film or whatever. That was more what it was like. Speedrunning was like, oh boy, someone made a new Quake run. I'm gonna watch it, like, you know, watch it all one go, a film with like director's commentary and stuff. It turned into people doing what I do, which is what I was part of this new wave of like speedrunning, right? Where now it's like, I sit here on a camera with a microphone and talk and do a run live, and you watch me do it live, and it became like, yeah, watching people restart the game but like try to get through it all in one go, and it would be cool. So that's what I found accidentally at the very beginning of this like paradigm shift of speedrunning. I stumbled my way into watching a Wind Waker speedrun on Justin TV, and it was the biggest thing on the platform because the run was getting somewhere, right? You're like, it's like if I'm on a PB pace run, everybody tunes into my stream to like see me end the run or whatever. Maybe not as much anymore because it's more personality driven now, but back then it was like, oh my god, like they're actually at the end of the Wind Waker run, they might actually set a world record, right? Again, I can't stress this enough to the people that have grown up with the internet already being an established thing, but this was like new. I had never seen like doing a live television broadcast from your bedroom with just your computer. It's like insane. Like being able to talk with people live, like hundreds of thousands of people or whatever live, is like crazy, right? It still is, but so many people take it for granted or whatever. But I was just astounded, like watching this, like, oh my god, I could just talk to this person who's doing this really cool thing. That's crazy. And one day I asked the runner, I asked, hey, how do you get into speedrunning? Like, how did you get into it? And if you ask me this now, it's like an obvious question. It's like, duh, I've heard this a million times. So they had probably heard it a million times. But they directly responded to me and they said, just start by doing a speedrun of your favorite game. Right? That's what you should do. You should just like find whatever your favorite game is, because you're gonna need to really like the game, because you have to play it loads and loads and loads and loads. And if it's a game isn't your favorite game, you'll hate it and it'll be like pointless and it won't be fun. Because again, no one's making money doing this at this era, right? There was no like monetization, there were no subscribing, there was no like donations were like sort of a taboo thing. Like if you took donations, you were a sellout. So I was like, I don't know what my favorite game is. So I made a list of my favorite games. It was Pokemon Red Blue, Final Fantasy VII, Batman Arkham Asylum, because that game was like new and I was all over it. It isn't one of my favorite games now. It was good, but I don't think it was one of my favorite. But anyway, San Andreas was on this list, right? What I did was I went through that list of games that I made and I looked up to see if anyone else had done it and what, like, you know, if anyone else had done those runs yet. People had done, like, Worcester and other people were doing Pokemon Red Blue. And then I started watching these things, right? RoboSparkle was doing Batman Arkham Asylum, who's also like a really old ESA attendee like me. I still think of him as like the Batman man, but he's not that anymore. Yeah, that's what that's what he was known for. Halogen was Batman speedruns, Batman Arkham Asylum speedruns, and the old Batman games as well. But anyway, the point is, I looked up all these games and I found all these other runners of these other games. But I looked up San Andreas, and there was nothing for San Andreas. Nothing existed. There was a speed demos archive run by someone called Cannibal K9. This is again one of those old style runs that was like segmented. But there was no one had done it live. No one had done San Andreas in one go before. No one had done a real-time attack run, or what we would just call a regular speed run nowadays, but it was called like real-time attack back then. No one had done it. So I looked for all these games, I was like, yeah, I guess no one's done San Andreas, so I suppose I'll do that, right? At the time, S was actually active, like Lots of S, if you know who that is, you've heard that name. He's around and I do Portal with him and stuff. Lots of S was researching San Andreas 100% and stuff. And there when Oasis was doing GTA 3 and Vice City, but I was like totally unaware of this. I never found them. I watched the entire like documentary thing of Cannibal K9's segmented run of San Andreas, and I took notes and stuff, and I like actively like really watched it and like learnt from it. I was like, okay, I think I can do that, right? I'll try to do everything they did. Later on, it turns out nowadays with modern knowledge of speedrunning, we know that like segmented SA doesn't work because stuff carries over between saves and shit. I found a San Andreas forum thread on Speed Demos Archive. I found the San Andreas forum thread where people were talking about segmented runs and stuff. And I came in and I said, hey, yeah, I was really inspired. Right, that's what I forgot to talk about. Speedruns Live. So Speedruns Live was a website made by speedrunners for live streams of speedruns. So if you did live streams of speedruns, you could get on Speedruns Live, like on their website. And it was like the place to go. It was like it's crazy to think about now, but it was like I would get home from school bored and I'd be like, I guess I'll watch like a speedrun of something. I would go on Speedruns Live, and there every single live stream of every single speedrun that was happening on Justin TV was on that website. And it was like 10, 20 maybe, right? There were not that many people doing this. It was not a big thing. And we all knew each other because it was so tight-knit, and there were like hardly anyone doing it, right? So it was like everybody just used this website, just used Speedruns Live. It's kind of dead now, I think. People don't use it for that purpose anymore, really. Because, like, you just use Twitch now instead, and there's way too many people. Like, speedrun, it wasn't scalable. Once so many people were doing speedruns, Speedruns Live didn't make any sense, because it was like a curated list of, like, everyone streaming speedruns. Now it's just, like, way too fucking massive. Yeah, you had to put SRL in your stream title. Yes, that's right. A thing that was super popular was races. Like, this is, again, a thing that was only made possible by live streams existing, was you could do races of runs. So people would go on Speedruns Live, they had a little section on there where you could, like, join, like, a little IRC chat room together, and you could both of you, or multiple people, however many people, you could all start your game at the same time, and live stream it, and do a run all together at the same time and see who could beat the game or whatever category you were doing first. And again, I have to stress, that's insane, right? Right, just in your bedroom, by yourself, doing a live broadcast on the internet and synchronizing it with other people, like, to do it live. It's fucking mind-blowing at the time, right? It was like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. So this was, like, super cool. Yeah, exactly, Henja. You would hang out with people, have a cool social experience, and learn like new games and stuff, and just play it casually. What I said in the original SDA forum post was I was just like, "Hey, this is really cool. I really love Speedruns Live. I want to start like a community of people doing races and speedrunning San Andreas. I think that would be really cool. San Andreas is like a really cool, massive game, right? There's so much you can do in it. It's funny looking back at that now, because I went, like, above and beyond on what I set out to do. Like, I was, like, just a teenager, like, dreaming big. Like, oh, it'd be so cool if I could get San Andreas on Speedruns Live and do, like, speedruns of it with other people. But now, like, not to, like, be egotistical or whatever, but, like, I was a big part of starting, like, GTA speedrunning as a whole. Like, I'm not the only thing, obviously. Like, Adam AK was obviously a big part for, like, Free and Vice City. But for San Andreas, like, even now, I'm, like, known as the San Andreas guy, right? So then the people on the SDA forums were like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, we'll help you. And then tons of people on that forum came in to, like, help me, like, learn the game and figure out strats and stuff. I would stream all the learning and stuff, like, learning, like, Los Santos and my Los Santos PBs. And doing, like, yeah, San Fierro and all that lot. And then one weekend, I was like, okay, I'm going to try to sit down and do the whole game. So, at that time, when I streamed, I like had, like, 3 viewers or something. It was, like, Emma and, like... Oh, shit, I died. It was, like, Emma watching and, like, a few other random people that would pass by on Justin TV, right? So I sat down one weekend in my shared office with, like, 3 other... like, my 3 uni friends who I was living with. I was in a shared room. Can you imagine being a streamer in a shared room and how fucking obnoxious and annoying that must be? So I sat down and I sat there and I did a fucking, like, 8-hour-long run of San Andreas. I still have a video of it somewhere. Sorry, I am going to take, like, a minute to have a little detour here. Here we go. Here is my first ever speedrun of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And I have this stupid layout thing on the top.
In load game, there is nothing in save file 4, and that's the save file I'm going to be using for this run. Because when you press on load game,
so that here's all my practice saves, right? And like I had been practicing, look, as like late 2012, early 2013. This is when I was doing it. It was January 2013. That's when my save files are from.
When you press on save game, whatever. When you press on save game,
yeah, speed space runs. Yeah.
4. So I can quickly save, which I'll be using throughout the run to sort out my times and whatnot. But yeah.
There's W split. Do you guys remember W split?
And the second I press yes is when I'll start the timer.
So here's me, like, I'm doing a big prep talk, like, doing a big official thing. Like, okay, this will be my official world record attempt at this video game, right? Like, it's funny. And yeah, the reason I have hand cam, guys, is because there's 3 other people in the room. And I didn't want to just point a camera into the room and have everything they were doing visible, because that's a dick move, right? So I had to use hand cam. And yeah, it's a Razer Lycosa keyboard.
Also, hello. Right, here we go. This may be the run, it may not. I've got a 2-hour window where I can reset, so if anything goes wrong in the first city and maybe back,
yeah, okay.
It says get on the bike.
Oh god, there's music, right? Oh yeah, there's music, so you can't really listen to this anymore. I had like five viewers at the start of the run. I had like 5 viewers of people watching me. By the end of the run, I had 50 viewers. Imagine 50 people standing behind you right now watching what you're doing. That's crazy, right? Like, and then like sat here today with like 1,200 people almost listening to me say this story, right? It's like silly, right? but it was like fucking insane. Like, oh my god, there's like 50 people like actually give a shit about what I'm doing right now. That's like ridiculous. And I was like, I was in, right? I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I love this so much. I love live streaming. I love being on TV or whatever, you know. Then sometime after that, I was talking to Lots of S, or just S he was known at the time, on the SDA forums. And Lots of S was telling me about how to get on Speedruns Live. To get on to Speedruns Live, you needed to make an account on the website and do 5 races of speedruns on the website. So S very generously told me all this, explained it all to me. Because when I streamed, I wasn't on Speedruns Live, I was just on Twitch. Yeah, S sat down and did 5 races with some random annoying teenager on the internet, right? Did 5 Los Santos races with me, and one of them, one of my roommates did with me as well. But I did 5 Los Santos races just to get my name on the leaderboards or whatever.
Leprosy_ just resubscribed for 25
And then I was like, I counted as like a speedrunner or whatever, and I could then, from then on, my streams would appear on the Speedruns Live homepage. I had more people than ever on the SDA forums helping me, giving me new strats and stuff, and telling me what to do and explaining things. Do you guys, you know the lung capacity strat? Where you need to get lung capacity in order to do amphibious assault, right? So nowadays we like swim while like driving to other places in missions, right? Do you know what we did back then? After photo opportunity, you spawn here. The original strat was I would run over to this beach and then I would swim all the way back to San Fierro. And I would just try to stay underwater as long as possible and swim and get 2 lung capacity upgrades. Well, I didn't actually know how many lung capacity upgrades I needed. All of it. I would swim the entire way. It took like fucking 5 minutes or something. I remember I had a playlist of motivational music, which is like the Pokemon theme song, the Rocky theme tune, the like, you know, all that montage music stuff. Because you had to sit there and mash spacebar. I was mashing spacebar the entire time. Yeah, Eye of the Tiger, shit like that. I played that while I swam from Angel Pine all the way up to San Fierro, mashing spacebar, listening to fucking Eye of the Tiger, right? That was how I got lung capacity. Because we didn't know. We weren't sure exactly how much lung capacity you needed or whatever. And it was like, you know, you're in Angel Pine and you need to go back to San Fierro. Fucking do it then, right? Like, just swim back to San Fierro, I guess. Then you'll do it. We didn't know that to get lung capacity, you just needed to stay underwater. And if you move underwater, you lose oxygen. We thought you needed to actually swim underwater, like swim around. We swam from Badlands to Africa, but it was all shit like that, right? So we had people come in, like loads of people would come in and just help with strats and stuff. Yeah, so it wasn't backseat, Razvan. It was in a forum. Like, I don't know how many times I have to stress this. I hate Twitch chat backseat from random people when I have 1,000 viewers that I don't know who they are. On a fucking forum post where they can, like, provide evidence and examples and stuff, and they actually went out the way to find the forum post and talk to me. Yeah, I can trust what they're saying, right? So then, after all of this, I started my second run. I started my second run of San Andreas. And at the start of the second stream, I had, like, again, I had 50 viewers at the very beginning of the stream. By the end of my second run of San Andreas, my very first run that was on the front page of Speedruns Live, my second official run, I had 5,000 viewers at the end of my second run. 5,000. Because everyone on Speedruns Live was like, oh shit, someone's doing a speedrun of San Andreas? That sounds ridiculous. That's such a long game. How are they going to do that? I've never seen this before. I was literally the first person to do it, right? It was like a brand new thing. All the old school runners know me from that run. Like Siglemic, Trihex, Spike Vegeta, like all the old boys know me from that one run. And in that run was horrendous because I had like hardly any chat moderators and Emma was like the only chat mod. She was just modding anyone to try to help. And then she modded like people who were like trolling and stuff and making shit worse and everything. It was fucking awful. So I had 5,000 viewers for that second run. And then after that I was just like, okay, I guess like this is what I'm known for now. And then ever since then I've been known as the San Andreas man. And that's... then nothing has ever changed, right? What about ESA 2013? Yeah, I could keep going on forever, right? Like, I could recap, like, everything that happened. But it'll cost you another $100. I think I have exhausted the limit of story time for $100.
Blueberry_surprise tip £10. So let's all thank Justin Bieber for bringing Josh into speedrunning.
Right, yeah, exactly. And all of this started because of fucking Husky StarCraft making a Justin Bieber parody StarCraft 2 song, right? It all came from that. Oh, hey, a blister. It all came from that. It's so crazy to think about.
Oh, hey, pennies.
Savage Nymph 12 cheered X 10,000. Did I hear another $100 story time?
Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, hey, thanks.
Kenario just gifted 49 subs.
Jesus Christ, thank you. Okay, alright, I'll continue the story. I'll continue the fucking story. So then racing on Speedruns Live becomes a thing. I was always bad at San Andreas speedrunning and speedrunning as a whole, right? I was always bad. The very first person to ever do runs of San Andreas after me was a Korean guy called Inspired and some numbers, I don't remember. They came up with a bunch of strats. Their English wasn't very good, but they came up with a bunch of strats. There's a strat we still use to this day, right over here. And in my head, I know it as the inspired 6+1 strat. You know when you do the ice cold killer, when I need to kill Jizzy. So you come down here to his club and you go up all like this and go inside to kill him. Inspired came up with the strat where you shoot the Pimpmobile 6 times with a sniper rifle. You shoot Jizzy's Pimpmobile 6 times with a sniper rifle. You go inside the building. You come out. Jizzy gets in the Pimpmobile. The Pimpmobile is like really close to death. You shoot it one more time with a sniper rifle, and then it catches fire and Jizzy gets out. Before that point, the options were don't do anything, just go into the club and then chase Jizzy like in a car chase and like, you know, drive by, blow up his car and stuff like that. Or you could blow up his Pimpmobile and he'd come out in a pizza boy. Those were the two options. But Inspired figured out that the Pimpmobile keeps the damage that you gave it, even when you come out. The problem with Inspired's runs is that he played with the frame limiter turned off. When I did my first few runs, I played toggling the frame limiter. I would like toggle it when it was beneficial to have it on versus when you had it off. Yeah, exactly, Zoman. But Adam AK and Oasis and fuck, what's the guy who owns and runs GDQ? I can't remember his name. Mike Uama. Mike Uama himself came into the San Andreas speedrunning forum thread on SDA and said, stop using the frame limiter, it has to be on at all times for the run to count. So ever since then I was like, okay, I'll use the frame limiter. But it was like a big drama thing at the time, and I kind of like resented Adam AK for a while because of it as well. Now I don't give a shit, obviously, but like back then I was just like, okay, fucking arsehole making me do it your way, I guess. Like Adam AK went to Uama, the guy who owned everything, and got him to tell me to stop doing it, right? It's just like, okay, I guess I'll fucking stop, right? Obviously, like, this is like 10-year-old drama and nobody actually gives a shit anymore, right? And they were right. I should have been using the frame limiter. They were correct, right? But I was just being an edgy teenager at the time, right? So that's why I still do it to this day. So Inspired did one full run with the frame limiter and beat my time. But then I had to come into his chat and tell him at the very end of the run, no, actually this run doesn't count because you're using the frame limiter. In like a community of like language speakers that he doesn't even like fully know that well. Like me coming in and being like, yeah, actually no, you didn't beat my world record because you used the frame limiter, you cheated, right? I thought yours did the same. Yeah, but I had done newer runs by that point that hadn't used the frame limiter halogen. So I had world record at that point. Yeah, so then another runner came along called Nin Cortec. And his very first full run was also beat mine, was also a world record. And I remember being really jealous about it and not being happy about it at all. Because I was the San Andreas man and now someone else had come along and was going to take my thing away from me, right? I was not happy about it. But that was only like initial like response to it. Me and him were friends after. But I was just like a stupid teenager, right? I was like, no, my world records, right? You skipped over ESA 13? Oh, sorry. Yeah, but prior to this, yeah, I learned. Oh, yeah. Okay. So S told me because I was like, S told me about this thing called GDQ, and that December, December 2012, when I was like learning the run and stuff, I got massive motivation for it by watching GDQ 2012 at the time. Yeah, so S told me about GDQ, and we watched GDQ, and then S told me about there was a European version of it that was happening called ESA, and it happened that year. And he said, like, hey, it'd be really cool if you came to ESA 2013, and, like, I'm sure they'd let you do a San Andreas speedrun and stuff. And I had no idea how speedrun marathons worked or anything. I didn't realize it was, like, you had to apply and, like, submit a run and stuff like that. So S showed me all of that. Like, I cannot stress enough the fact that I'm here today, of anyone who, like, intentionally helped me, as wasn't just unintentional, like fucking Husky Starcraft making a music video. S showed me everything. S got me on Speedruns Live, which blew up my channel. S told me about ESA, which as I'll tell the story in a second, I went to and blew up my channel even more and got me into like the speedrunning community and stuff. S was like super instrumental in all of that, so I owe like a massive, like, my whole career or whatever to S, pretty much. You should go follow Lots of S right now on twitch.tv/Lots of S. He does 100% San Andreas speedruns. I heard you like collecting shit and doing stuff in San Andreas, right? But S does so much more than that. S does like so many other speedrun things, like loads of stuff. He does loads of things. And then at this point, I'm like just a stupid teenager, right? I need to travel on my own for the very first time to Sweden, a country I knew nothing about. I didn't know what a Scandinavia even was. I had to somehow have enough money to do that. I had to convince my parents to let me do it. It's like, hey, parents, in 2013, there's this cool thing I heard about on a forum, and I want to travel to alone with no, like, not knowing anyone there except from the internet, right? Can I go do this, right? Try, like I said I'd go, Emma will come with me and stuff. Trying to, like, convince them that, like, and through some miracle, they were just like, yeah, okay, like, we trust you to be responsible enough with this. Right? But, like, trying to explain that to them, like, hey, because I'm a big video game player on the internet, right? Yeah, back then, meeting people on the internet was a massive no-no. Yeah, you were gonna get, like, fucking sex trafficked or something if you did that, right? That's what, like, everyone thought was gonna happen. So, like, them letting me do it was, like, a big thing. But yeah, I went, and, yeah, it was a real thing. I didn't get human trafficked and murdered, yeah. And it was a real event. I went to ESA, I met a bunch of cool people. I didn't eat anything because I was way too stressed out about my run. I was super nervous about my run the entire fucking time. The day of my run, I literally went to the venue, lied down on a sofa, and did nothing. I was so fucking nervous for that run. Unbelievably nervous. I really, like, I don't know how I lived. I did not eat anything. It took, like, Flicky, who was, like, involved in running ESA at that time. It took him, like, convincing me to eat bread or something. Yeah, this was pre-Vecqua. This was in Khuvda at the time, which was just, like, we were just in a little tiny community, like, house thing, like, venue thing for, like, teenagers and stuff. Yeah, I had no idea how to say it. I pronounced the place Skadov, right? So I had to fly to some random airport and then get a really long train ride into the middle of nowhere, Sweden, right? All just me and Emma. But yeah, so I went to ESA, and then I sat down, I did the run, and I remember this, and I still remember this to this day, and I still think of this moment, and I think of it whenever I'm doing a run at a speedrun marathon and I start to get nervous about it. I always remember to myself, as soon as I sat down and did that run at ESA 13, as soon as I started it, it was second nature to me. I've done the run loads of times, like not hundreds by that point, but like I'd done the run loads of times. I knew what I was doing, I'd practiced, it was just what I did, right? If anything, I played way better because I was talking about what I was doing and not reading a Twitch chat. So because I was talking about what I was doing and not reading a Twitch chat, I paid attention to what I was doing, and I would like pre-think it and like explain it, right? And I didn't get nervous, and it was perfectly fine. I had no idea what I was doing for commentary. I just did what I thought was correct, and it was really good. And yeah, so I sat down, I did the ESA 2013 run, and I just got a world record at ESA. I like beat my PB. Again, I was the only person running it at the time. On speedrun.com, which was called Speedrun Records at the time, which is now like the central site for all speedrunning. There was a forum thread in there, like a pinned one or something, where it was like asking how you got into speedrunning. Loads of people in that forum thread posted that, yeah, what got them into speedrunning was ESA 2013, like San Andreas Joshimus's run. What's what got them into it. That's how I discovered Josh. Yeah, it's like so many, maybe not now because it's like 11 years later, but that was how so many people found me, was that run. It was such a big moment, and I met so many cool people. And yeah, I encouraged people to do their own speedruns and stuff. Months later, I guess, Nin Cortec beat my record, and I never reclaimed it. I never got any % record for San Andreas back ever since then. You know, as soon as one other person did a run in the same category as me, I never got world record back. I could never beat anyone. And it's fine. Like, I'm okay with it. I'm just not that good at it. I'm entertaining, and that's what I'm known for. But I was just really bad at San Andreas speedruns, and I'm always bad. Bro, you got this. Don't get down. For fuck's sake, right? Like, no, shut up. I'm just bad at this. I know it, and that's okay. Like, it's fine. I did a whole video where I rewatched my ESA 2013 run. It's on my YouTube channel if you're interested in watching me reminisce about that. For the 10-year anniversary of it, I watched it back. That's like my first year in speedrunning, I guess. Since I started late 2012, so that was like 2012 and 2013 I recounted to you. That was my first year. That's the Joshimus origin story. There you go.